in October like a crisp apple lollipop, hoping and praying that I am in focus because I don't have my contacts in and I also don't have my glasses on because of the glare from my ring light. So my fingers are very crossed. Welcome back everyone. In today's video, I'm going to be going over my monthly reset for the month of October, which is so exciting because I think I'm an October girly. It is one of my favorite months literally ever. I feel like the weather in Houston finally starts to cool off a little bit. It's still 95 during the day here and it's October 1st when I'm filming this. So that's really unfortunate, but I know we have some cooler weather around the corner. If you're new here, my name's Abby and I upload lifestyle videos here usually twice a week on YouTube, and I also am very active across social media, so definitely be following me there as well, link down below. If you're new here or if you haven't already, definitely be sure to subscribe and turn on post notifications so you don't miss out on any uploads. And in today's reset, we're going to be going over my September goals and which goals I reached and didn't reach. I'm going to share my goals for October, of course go over my doodle planner setup for the month of October, share a reading recap from September and my TBR for October. I'm going to include a favorite section this month. I'm excited to share with you all some things that I've just really been loving, and wrapping everything up with a spending recap from the month of September. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. September was a very busy month for me and it was a little unexpected. I definitely had a lot of brand deals that have been keeping me busy the last few weeks, and then I also went out of town to New York City for New York Fashion Week with my talent agency at the beginning of the month, and I feel like since I got home from that I just blinked and the rest of the month went by. This is definitely the fastest a month has gone by in my opinion all year, and I just can't believe I've been full-time content creating for 9 full months now. It feels like it's been like 5 maybe. I'll put my goals that I had for the month though on screen and I'll just walk through really quickly the ones that I never got to and didn't achieve. First one being going to a sunrise at the beach. With how busy this month is, it just hasn't been able to happen, and it's definitely hard with it being an hour away. I had to finish filming on my trying everything on in my closet video, and I also have not done that. I'm thinking it'll get done by the end of the year, which I talked about in a recent vlog. I've just been kind of struggling body image wise lately a little bit, trying on my jeans and like finishing that video. I just don't want to do that right now because it's just going to not help that headspace. I do really want to finish the video though because I've put in so much work for all the other parts of it. It's just 2 parts I still need to finish, but you know, it's a common struggle amongst all of us, but it's just one of the things that I've definitely been struggling with more lately. I had to get our bedroom inspected for mold after the hurricane and everything. I'm having a water leak in our ceiling, and to get us a new ceiling fan in there since we don't have one right now. That has not happened. I definitely am planning on either probably not this week because we're about to go out of town at the end of this week, but next week I'm really hoping to get someone out to do an inspection and make sure there's no mold so that we can get a ceiling fan, and I am absolutely terrible for putting that off for this entire month. I had to do a social media detox day and I did it. The month literally flew by, so maybe we'll double up on them this month to make up for it. I have to read 2 books. I only read and finished 1 book this month, which is so bad. One of the main books I'm reading right now is Queen of Shadows, and that's a very thick boy book. It's taken me a minute to get through it, especially because I do so much of my reading in the evening. I could read during the day if I wanted to, I just wouldn't get near as much work done, and I like to really structure my days like a 9 to 5 as much as possible. So I try to keep like those hobbies and things isolated to the mornings and evenings, and I end up just getting really tired, or I wait until too late to start reading in the evening and end up not getting to read a bunch. So it's taking me a long time to get through the book and I need to just hunker down and get it done. And then I have the film more makeup content, which I also haven't really done. I think that's also just because September was just like a lower confidence month for me. I don't really know what was in the air I've been breathing, but something to just make my self-esteem not really great this past month was in the air, and I just didn't really feel great filming my makeup content, and I also just feel like I was always doing my makeup the same, so I didn't really film much, but hopefully I'll get more into that, especially in the holiday season. Last year I loved doing like all the little makeup trends, like the hot cocoa makeup and sugar plum fairy makeup. It sounds so ridiculous and silly, but it's just so fun to play with. It just makes me a girl so much more fun. And now going into my October goals, I'm being completely honest. I am going into this month with very few unique goals set. I'm really wanting to be as present as humanly possible because this is my favorite time of year. We have a lot going on with traveling and weddings to go to this fall, and I know it's going to absolutely fly by, so I just want to be as present as humanly possible, especially knowing that with this being my favorite time of year, and one of the things that really plays into that is the weather. I want to soak up the weather actually being like mild and tolerable here in Houston. Take advantage of that, spend time outside, and really just be as present as I can this month and in November and December. So I really just want to be as present as possible. And the more random goals I set for myself just for the sake of setting goals, the less present I am usually, because I'm so worried about, you know, checking a box. So with all that being said, these goals are things that I think will ultimately help me to be more present in the long run. The first one is to hit 99,000 subscribers on YouTube, which we actually hit this, I think today. It was either this morning or last night. So this one's already done, actually. So thank you so much to each and every one of you who are here and do support my channel. It actually means the world to me. I can't put it into words. My channel's been in a very like slow growth phase for quite some time. My recent fall reset video has been gaining a lot of traction. It's doing really great, which is really exciting because it's definitely a video I've worked very hard on, and I'm so glad you all are loving it. And it's brought in a lot of new people, and I'm curious if you can remember, let me know what video made you find my channel. I think it's so fun to hear that. It's super exciting because 100K was on my goals for this year. I think it was. We'll see what happens by the end of the year. I had put 99K as my goal when I saw last week when I was planning out this video that my subscribers were like climbing a bit every day. I mean, nothing crazy substantial, but definitely more than what I'm used to seeing. So I was like, ooh, let's try and hit 99K in October, and then it ended up happening before it even got here. So thank you so much. And the next one is to read 2 books, definitely keeping it on the lighter end of how many books I read per month. Because I'm going through the Throne of Glass series right now, it's just really hard to read more than just that book, which is really hard because there's so many books that I want to be reading. And with how slowly I'm going through Throne of Glass, which definitely one of my biggest reading regrets ever is how slowly I've been approaching Throne of Glass and the breaks I've been taking between the books. I don't recommend doing that. Probably recommended it before, and I'm really just pulling that recommendation back in because I just think it's made it harder. I had to do a social media detox day, but let's make that 2 since I failed to do that in September. Less screen time, which I feel like I just need more tangible ways to achieve this goal, and I just don't really know how to like actually keep myself off of the apps. I set the timers on my apps, but I end up overriding them every day because half the time I have to go post something for a brand or draft something, or I want to go post something and then I have to ignore the timer, and then once it's ignored once, I'm getting on it way more during the day. I just want to be better about it because I feel like I could do things like read and get way more of it done if I just stayed off my phone and like maintained it to 30 minutes in the morning and 30 minutes in the evening. I need some sort of reward for myself if I do that, but I don't know what it would be. I have on here to watch more movies and shows. My husband and I, we did a date night a few weekends ago, and we watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, which is like a classic, and absolutely love that movie. And I want to watch some cozy fall movies and shows. I'm watching Gilmore Girls right now. I normally just have it on in the background when I do things, but I want to sit down and like actually watch it more. I'm just not a TV show and movie girly, sadly, but I'm really trying to be. And I want to watch like When Harry Meets Sally or Met Sally. I've heard that's like a really good, cozy going into fall movie. My husband Griffin has been obsessing and rewatching like all of the Harry Potter movies recently, and I'm ashamed to say that I've literally never even seen all of them. I literally think I saw the first one when it first came out, and I don't know if I've seen any of the others. I was just so much more of a Twilight and Divergent girly, and my brother was a big Harry Potter guy, but I never really got into it. And then I have to just overall focus on my health more. I think this summer it's just been so much fun. We've been doing a lot, and we'll be doing a lot this month too. I really want to make sure I'm getting enough sleep, drinking plenty of water, staying active, and like doing different forms of movement when I'm starting to feel burnt out or my body's feeling fatigued. Keep going on lots of walks, especially now that the weather's so much nicer. Eating more balanced meals and whole foods that, you know, have a lot of nutrients and stuff. And last but not least, I have to soak up fall and be present. I think back to the good old times when I had my podcast and I did seasonal bucket lists all the time. For every new season, I would upload these episodes with my bucket list for that upcoming season. And I did that, I think, for 3 of the 4 years I had my podcast every year. They were truly some of my favorite podcast episodes to record and plan for because they just got me so in the mood for the season. And I really want to go back and look at like my outlines for some of those episodes and see some of the things that I put on there that really helped me to romanticize the season. Some examples of how I like to just sort of enjoy fall, for example, and romanticize the season. I love listening to fall themed playlists, drinking fall coffees at home with all the fun different fall creamers, using fall candles, going to the farmer's market, putting more effort into my outfits to dress cute because I feel like I can't dress cute in the summer because you're just trying to wear as little clothing as possible. In the fall, I just love fall fashion so much, and I just love having fun with the outfits for it. Making recipes using ingredients that are in season, so obviously making a lot of soups in the fall, chilies, baking, fall related things, all that good stuff. There's so many different ways you can do it. And if you want to listen to any of my past fall bucket list episodes, They're still up on my podcast. If you look up In Bloom Podcast and search Fall Bucket List right after saying In Bloom Podcast, I'm sure they should all come up. Now getting into my doodle planner, I will say this is the first month that I've been very just behind with updating my doodle planner, which I'm up to date on it now, but there were like 2 weeks where I didn't even track my habits or my mood, and I kind of had to go back and just look at the pictures I took on certain days to remember what I was doing that day and log my mood and my habits. So funny for September though, because I put 5-minute journal as one of my habits to track and I didn't do it a single time. Actually, I think I did it yesterday. I did do it yesterday. So we did it the very last day of the month and that was it. This month was overall very average for my mood. I had a couple not great days at all. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'd give this month like a 6.5 mood wise. It just wasn't the best. I've been in a funky mindset headspace lately. I feel like it's getting and has gotten better, but it was really, really bad in the middle of the month. And sadly, I do not have anything on my dotted page. I wanted to sit down and like get some stuff down on the paper. I really want to get this video up as soon as possible, and I am filming this on the 1st, so I'm already behind. I'm leaving in 2 days to go to Florida, and I want to get this video fully filmed and edited and scheduled to go live before I go to Florida. So I'm just in a hurry and put anything on here. But we are going to be sharing my favorites from September, so that'll make up for it. Going into October's theme, this is just such a cozy and cute theme. It's very nature focused with little deer, squirrels, bunnies, a fox, and mushrooms, and I don't know, just feels super cozy, and I love the quote that says you will get where you need to be. Wanted to do a very warm autumn kind of color palette, and I tried to just use all the colors that kind of fell into that category, even if they didn't make a ton of sense. Of course, I colored the monthly spread with like the same kind of theme, and I haven't input any of the things on the actual dates on the monthly spread yet, but I do need to go in and do that. And then for the habit tracker, I put drink greater than or equal to 80 ounces of water a day. I think that's like a good spot to be at. And then I have to read, of course, make coffee at home, eating at home, going on evening walks, keeping my screen time under 2 hours a day. I want that to be total, even including when I'm having to sit on an app and draft like stories or a reel or a TikTok for a brand, which can take a long time. I had to post on Instagram, reading nonfiction in the morning. I want to really finish The Perfectionist Guide to Losing Control book that I've been reading for forever. I'll get in the habit of reading it in the morning and then I'll fall off of it, and it just is a cycle that never ends. So I really want to finish that book and get back on that habit, and then I have to exercise, and then I just use the same kind of colors for the mood tracker palette as well. For my reading recap, we only have one book this month since I'm still reading Queen of Shadows, and that is The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. And if you haven't watched my most recent vlog, definitely go watch that, because in that vlog I shared setting up for hosting book club for the first time at my house, and it was for that book, and I did pick that book for book club, and in hindsight I wish I would have picked something else, because it was a good, cozy, feel-good book, but it just wasn't really a good book to discuss in book club. I just didn't feel like there was a lot to discuss, because it's just a feel-good book. Like, there's not a lot of depth to it. If you're looking for something that just like really makes you feel super warm and fuzzy and cozy inside, it's a great read for that. I think because I'm reading Queen of Shadows right now, and I just read Talking at Night and was like head over heels with it, and that's just like a very deep literary fiction, feel-good stuff has just been kind of missing the mark for me lately, because I'm craving that deeper stuff and like the world building and the conflict and all that kind of stuff. Overall, the book though was about 3.5 stars for me. I haven't even like rated it on Goodreads yet. The first half I read when I was on the plane on the way to New York City, and I was eating it up, and it was great, and I thought it was cute and it was cozy. And then the last half I pretty much read the day before book club, so I picked it up, I read half of it, and then I put it down, didn't read it for like 2.5 weeks, and then picked it back up and finished it. And I think that also impacted how much I liked it, because I usually end up not liking books very much if I'm constantly, you know, like picking them up and putting them down, or if I spread out reading them. There were just some plot holes in it as well, but basically it's about this girl who is a witch, and it's not like a spooky, scary witch. It's a cozy, human, magical realism type of witch. And she posts videos on the internet of pretending to be a witch until she's contacted by this family who wants her help because they have 3 little witches of their own at home, and she ends up deciding to go live with them and help teach them about being a witch. But there were just overall some plot lines that were introduced and then never really developed, or they just kind of fell off into nothing. And I really just didn't enjoy the romance. It felt very forced and it didn't feel real. And it was one of those books where I just felt like I was reading a book. I didn't feel like I was in it, if that makes sense. My TBR for October though is to finish Queen of Shadows, of course. I'd like to read Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna, because I did download it from Kindle Unlimited onto my Kindle. Pretty sure I mentioned it in my fall reset vlog where I gave my whole fall TBR. If you want to hear like a comprehensive fall TBR list, definitely go watch that video because I have that whole thing in the end of that vlog. And then I have to read Powerless, and the reason I want to read that is because it actually just became available through my Libby apps. So I am borrowing it from the library on my Kindle through Libby, so I would like to read it since now I have it. And then for the book club I'm a part of this month, we are reading We Used to Live Here by Marcus Queiler, I believe is how you say it. It's like a thriller, and I think it's going to be made into like a Netflix series or some kind of TV show or movie or something. So that will be very on par with it being spooky season. Now going into my favorites, I definitely have a good bit of things to share with y'all. I'll have all these favorites linked down below as well if you want to check any of them out. First up is this Josie Maran Whipped Argan Body Butter. This is the Vanilla Vibe scent, and it is my new favorite lotion that I've like literally ever tried in my life. I'm almost out of it, but it literally smells like the little containers with like the red and blue lids of the whipped frosting from like Pillsbury and stuff. Very nostalgic scent for me, just from like baking things when I was a child. It just smells so good, and it's really thick, but it's not so thick to where when you apply it, having to lather it in for forever, it seriously just melts into your skin. Like literally changed my life. Next up is this brush that I got off of Amazon, and this is really for my curly hair girls out there. I know that my hair is straight right now, but I have naturally very curly hair if you are new here and didn't know that. It has like these jagged teeth on the sides, and I pretty much use this after I put in my curl cream and before I add in mousse and gel to just sort of evenly distribute the curl cream instead of combing my hair, because you basically brush it like you normally would, like running the brush parallel to your hair. But when your hair is really wet, you want to kind of angle the brush to where your hair is getting in the grooves, and it basically just separates your hair into perfect size clumps to really make your curls just more defined instead of having clumps that are too large, clumps that are too small. And I've been really impressed with it, and I definitely notice a difference in how my curls look when I use this versus when I don't before I scrunch my hair. And then we have the Essie On a Roll Apricot Cuticle Oil. I love this because it's a little roller ball, so it's not very messy at all, and I don't have anything on my nails right now and they're not painted, but when I have been painting my nails and when I've had press-ons on, I love trying to put this on like 1 or 2 times a day. I usually try to do it in the morning and at night to just really take care of my cuticles, and I just love the roller on it because I don't have to get it like all over my hands or squeeze it out of a tube or anything. Next up is this Merit Solo Shadow in this shade Social. It just took me so many times to say that. This is a really pretty taupey kind of purple color. I've been trying to wear makeup and clothes that just complement my natural features more, and I have hazel-ish eyes. They're definitely more brown than hazel, but there is like a very yellowy green to them, and I really like when I can make those pop a little bit. I had this in my cart for so long online, and then I got the amazing opportunity to work with them recently, and it's my second time working with them, and I love working with them because I wear their makeup all the time. I'm literally wearing like a full face of it right now. But these are cream shadows, and they are just so easy to work with and so blendable. It's truly just such a pretty color. It's not scary to work with. Like normally I would see an eyeshadow like this and I would think that I look like I have a black eye if I wear it, but the brush I apply it with, it's the Merit No. 2 brush. You probably can't really tell from far away, but it just provides a really pretty wash of color that's super natural, and it's really easy to just throw on and go. Normally I'm someone who puts on a decent amount of eyeshadow, like I'll throw on a lot of bronzer in my crease and then like a glitter on my lid, but I've been perfectly content with just using that shadow, and I also think it's a really pretty color for fall. I have 2 lip products, and one of them is the Ole Henriksen Palette Preserve Peptide Lip Treatments. I have this one on my lips right now, but it's probably a little bit worn off. This is the Cocoa Cream flavor shade. This is like a deep brownish nude, and it's so pretty for fall, and they stay on the lips for so long, and they're so moisturizing without being sticky. I also have the clear one that's like the orange and yellow, orange creamsicle I think is the flavor or something like that, and I keep that one in my car. But then I have the strawberry sorbet and this one, and I keep these like in all my purses, but I seriously love them so much. They're so worth the hype, and I'm so glad they're getting the hype they deserve. And then we have the Pharmacy Lip Smoothie. I got this in PR, and this is honey vanilla flavor, but I know they have a lot of different flavors, and honestly now that I'm smelling this smells very similar to that body butter that I told y'all about, if not the same. This is super moisturizing, and I love putting it on before bed because I sleep with a mouth guard now, and I feel like my lips are getting a lot more dry from sleeping with a mouth guard, so this has helped keep them nice and moisturized, and it doesn't dry my lips out. There are some lip products that I'll put on at night and then my lips feel like way worse in the morning, and this one's definitely not like that. Then we have this Fenty Cream Blush in the shade Cool Berry. This is very similar to the color of the eyeshadow I showed y'all gel, just a little bit more purpley. I talked about this in a vlog and swatched it at Ulta. It is the most beautiful, oh my gosh, I literally can't believe how pretty it is. I don't really know if it's right for my features, but I just love it, and it has a sheen to it, so it's kind of like a highlighter too, but without being like specks of glitter. And this is what it looks like. It's so stunning, and in natural lighting it looks even better. And I have two other colors of the Fenty cream blushes, and I really love them. I feel like they last a long time on the face, and they're really easy to work with, but I just love that color right now. So we have the Replica Perfume Afternoon Delight. Perfumes are hard to recommend because I know everyone likes different things, and everyone's bodies receive smells differently, and the smells wear on everyone differently. Like, some people recommend perfumes and I put them on myself and I'm like, that smells terrible. It's supposed to be like warm vanilla Madeleine cookies, and that's definitely what I'm getting. Provenance and period is Paris 1996 for this one, and I love the name Afternoon Delight. It really does just remind me of like a cozy afternoon, but it's a great vanilla for me that isn't too vanilla-y, because there's some vanilla fragrances that just really don't smell that great on me, but I've really been liking this one, and when I'm wanting a more cozy scent, I reach for this. And two other favorites are some playlist favorites. I have a fall/autumn feels playlist that I'll leave linked down below, and I always get so much feedback on it. Like, people tag me in it on their stories and everything. It really has 2,500 saves, which is kind of a flex if I do say so myself. I made this playlist when I was in grad school, and I didn't really update it at all, and then I went in and like tried to update it some this year, but I really do want to sit down and update it some more. I just haven't yet. I love that playlist, Early 2000s Fall Vibes by Sav, and I'll leave that link down below too. It is so good. It literally feels like riding in my mom's minivan when we lived in Tennessee when I was really little, on the way home from school, dead tired from kindergarten, because kindergarten is so exhausting. The trees changing colors, the air being nice and crisp, going into Walmart and seeing the lobsters in the tank, like, that's just what it feels like. It's so good. I was listening to it Saturday morning when I was filling out my doodle journal and coloring it, and it was just the best vibe. That's it for the favorites, and now getting into our last section, which is the spending recap for September. So the main key areas that I typically go over for our spending, I don't share all of them just because I'm not going to sit here and like literally tell y'all every single dollar that we're spending, but I like to focus on like the main big items. The things that are a little bit more variable, like obviously we have certain bills, I have my student loans, our mortgage, those types of things, but outside of those things I like to share like what we're spending on coffee, groceries, eating out, that kind of thing. And this month on coffee I actually did really good, and we only spent $86 in the month of September on coffee. So go us, because that's under budget. Groceries, we are insanely over, $505 over. Spent $1,300 on groceries this month, which is insane. There's a few reasons for this. One being that we hosted 3 times at our house this month. We had friends come over to make pizzas. We had family over to watch football one day, and then I hosted book club, which is where I think like I probably spent a lot of money on food and I didn't mean to. We did eat at home a lot more though, and Griffin also started like kind of making his own meals towards the end of this month, and he's not really 100% doing it like he was for the last 2 weeks, because I think he realized like how hard it is for both of us to be eating separate meals like for all the different meals of the day. One, it's a lot more expensive, and two, it's just more difficult for both of us to be like cooking dinners at the same time. He was trying to be very specific and diligent about what he was eating and kind of like meal prepping and eating the same thing every day. I'm not really somebody that can do that, so I was like, you can have fun with that, but I'm not joining. It required buying so many more groceries, and I should have just looked at what he was making and kind of tried to make as many things that aligned with that myself, but it was just hard. So I think that's why we were so over. And then because I went to Trader Joe's one time solely for like a fall run and just got like fall themed things and some fall decor and stuff, so that definitely impacts things there too. Restaurants and dinings were only $71 over, which is great. Considering how social we were in September, I feel like that's really solid for to only be $71 over on eating out. I never adjusted our shopping budget for September. I adjust that kind of every month based on how much we have left over, like take-home wise. But honestly, it says we're $781 over from the $300 that I had set from August. Shopping is basically a catch-all for any like random spending we do and any actual shopping we do. So it varies every month depending on how much I bring home really, since my pay is so variable. But I had knocked it down to like $300 from when we went on vacation, I think, if I remember correctly, and I never adjusted it back. So I'd say realistically, after knowing what I brought home this past month, I'd say we would have wanted to stick to the $600 this month. About twice of what I have set, but we would still be about $181 over if that were the case. And really only $500 of that is like random purchase related things, and I purchased some things for hosting book clubs, so that definitely factors into that. Got a newly this month, which is like $80, so that definitely affects it. And then Griffin went golfing 3 times this month, and golf is expensive, so that also impacted it. And I don't know why that's categorized under our shopping. It's underneath hobbies, so I think it just gets looped into shopping. But that's everything I have for my October reset. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you made it to the end, be sure to comment a pumpkin emoji to let me know who made it to the end. Thank you all so much for watching and for being here. Be sure to subscribe if you're not already and follow me on my social media down below as well so you can keep up and turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload, and I will see you all in my next video. Work stuff. Oh my god. Am I okay? Next up is this merit social... Next up is this merit social... No, that's not what this says.